Hello and welcome to, I guess, another episode of my channel. This is a Fox S911. This was my main basher for a couple of years before I got anything else. Now, as you've read by the title, do not buy this car. Why should you buy it? Why shouldn't you buy it? Well, when I got this a couple of years ago, I got it out of the box, absolutely awesome. Fastest ASCII car I've ever seen. Absolutely brilliant. Oh wow, this thing's amazing. Has got a couple of issues that I've discovered over a longer period. Now, the first sort of issue that I found with the car that will be prominent straight out of the box, the radio. You can actually see the difference of when you pull the trigger and when the car actually goes. It's like, pull the trigger, now it goes. Bit slow. Feels really low quality. You can literally feel all the grains of plastic when you pull that down and it's all over the place. Uncomfortable around there. Does look cool though, I'll give them that. Now, when I got this, it was absolutely amazing. It was so fast. Well, used it around on the field, okay. But it's rear-wheel drive and the tyres are not that good, to be honest. They are rubbery and they are foam filled, as you can hear. But they're just not up to scratch for using a rear-wheel drive car. Anything else I own, they grip. These just sort of slide over everything. It is almost impossible to use in the wet because it just sort of slides out everywhere. And it's quite a lot slower on grass than anything else because it's so small and not got a lot of power. Now, obviously there are some good points of the car. First of all, great for learning throttle to control because it's rear-wheel drive. If you crash it, it's quite light. Doesn't weigh much at all. Yeah, shocks aren't that good. They're quite springy. Yeah, here's what it is. Body, flexible, really good. Got one crack after quite a lot of bashing. Look at that. Not that big, and that was after long time of bashing. Right, other issues. Now, obviously these aren't the gears that are actually damaged, I threw them away. I've stripped the gearbox completely. I've had a dead motor, and this is the broken part. This is a, well, differential. It is actually snapped on the rear. It's snapped clean out while I was just driving it. No particular thrash, it just sort of came out. I've locked it up, just wanted to see if the silicone earplug trick worked, and it's quite tight. Yeah, drive cup's a bit weak. I've never had one break, apart from that which twisted, but they sort of have divots in from where it's sort of been under power and stressed quite a lot. Right, suspension. There is literally no point of having anything but springs. That's the only thing on it. It just... At what point is it the shock's dampening anything? It's a bit better on the front, but not that good, really. It's not really up to scratch or anything. Right, other bad point. Exo cage. Oh wow, it's amazing. It's an exo cage. No, it's not. You have no idea how how hard it is to take apart. It's a bit of a pig. Right, taking out the transmission, you've got to undo that, just to get in. You've got to undo all of the back screws just to get into anything. Also the battery. Right, let's see how we've got the body pins on now. Right, you're taking the body off. Undo all four of them. Take this off. Put that back on. Put the body on. Do up all of them, and I mean, look, body pins are absolutely tiny. I have lost about 4 or 5 of them, and it only comes with 6. I've luckily managed to get some spares. They are honestly absolutely tiny. It's about a centimetre long, or about half an inch, a few mil. Tiny. It's so hard to do that, especially for anyone but a small kid. Right, I've had 2 of these break. Front bumpers. I don't know if that comes out on camera, but the front, that's hanging off. I don't know when that happened. I think one of my family members might have crashed it accidentally into something. Yes, they did. Wheel, this is the only issue I've ever had with the wheel. That's just bodged on. Can't get parts because of the lockdown, and I've got no clue if you can actually get parts for it, as it's borderline humber grade. Can't really get many. Yeah, it's a bit stoppy as well. I mean, all the way around you can see that, but nothing else is moving. It's all over the place. And on the front, servo, it's alright, but it's not. It's a modular system. You know, it's got its own servo. I couldn't take out a servo of any other car and put it in this, apart from the S912, which they also make. It honestly has its ups and downs. On the good side, it doesn't really break that much. The arms are strong, but on the front, I've had quite a lot of issues with these popping out to the stage. You'd put it down on the floor and accelerate. It just squat a tiny bit and they'd pop out. I'm not over exaggerating, they would literally pop out at any point. It was getting really annoyed. I've taken out the front foam and they've got a lot more grip. Only that one. Right. So why should you buy it? Well, brilliant for learning throttle control. It's rear-wheel drive. You know, if you've got trying to give a kid a fast car, out of the box, it just sort of fly it around, it crash into anything when it starts spinning its wheels. This, as it's rear-wheel drive, it's nice and light. So if you crash it into anything, it's alright. It's not really light. I did crash it into a curb once, and those pop out. I've just put a bit of plastic in there to give it a bit more meat on the side of the wheels, so they don't pop out as much. But, you know, if you're a really young kid, you know, they would enjoy it. It's quite fun, I guess, for a younger kid, watching it spin out a lot, because it just does do donuts well. It just sort of spins all over the place. The rear diff, well, the only diff in the car, I don't know why I said rear, but out of the box, it's just so loose, you sort of spin it, it's, you know, you put the car on its side, the wheel will just spin. It's got, you know, it's got no oil or anything in it. You know, it's got no locking up at all. It's like when you accelerate, it does that. It just slows down completely. This rear yeah. You can get anything else, and nothing else would do that. You know, I've got hobby grade cars and proper hobby grade cars. The diffs, they've got something in or sort of loose, but you know, put that with the tyres. I mean, it does still spin out now. You don't really need a lock diff to drift, although it doesn't drift that well because the servo is slow, right? It's going around sideways, and you counter steer and it's like servo's slow, not that powerful, and often sort of skips gears going on. It sort of slips a lot. So it is ready to run though, apart from just two this time, just two AA's, and it's ready to run out of the box. It has got basic trim, so that's steering trim. So mine was a bit off after a crash, but it does go in a straight line after a little bit of tuning. It's a bit awkward because it's not, you know, normal steering trim. It's either too fine or too far, but throttle control, it's not that good. You don't press it a tiny bit and it go faster. It sort of seems to have almost like stages. You press it a tiny bit and it go, and it's got about that before you get from full to top, because when you're like that, it's hard to control, but it's, you know, good for stopping kids from crashing out. The front bumper is normally quite soft, but it does occasionally go back in. I have had one more thing that's never been an issue again. I crashed it off the side of a tall object, and that popped out. The shock just popped out once. There was nothing inside, it was just hollow. But that's the only issue I've had with the shock. Apart from the fact they don't work or do anything, they're pretty much pointless. But yeah, it's alright. If you're going to jump it, don't even think about it. The first gearbox lasted about 3 months. I used to jump it slightly, not that high. I mean, I didn't really know much. I just sort of kept it on power, and they just stripped off. It started clicking for a while, and yeah, I thought it was the gears, and it was. Obviously, it's not particularly got good weight distribution. Right? All the weight's just in the rear, because everything is there apart from the battery, which is in the centre. The only thing in the front is the receiver and the servo, which doesn't weigh that much. Much heavier on the back, but it is still quite light. I did have a bit of an issue with loads of water getting in the tyres. I'm not going to take one off, it will take a little while, but they've got sort of quite large holes either side of it. I have put drainage holes in there, it does seem to drain off slowly. Yeah, it's not, yeah, I wouldn't buy it. Unless you're really sure you want to put up with this, or you want a challenge to drive, or you want to put a better power system in and better tyres, you'd end up spending more. If you want a fast RC car, WR Toys, anything else really, something preferably four-wheel drive, so you can sort of learn how to get the car in a straight line. This is, you'd accelerate and it would go one way or the other, because the trim's quite hard to get right. You know, you do it one way, so you do it too much. If you do it a tiny bit, it'll make a difference. I mean, I did enjoy using it. It was an absolutely great car for me for years. Obviously, it's not the fastest thing I've ever seen. When I was younger, I saw a guy with an X-Max in the park. I was quite jealous. But apart from that, this was the fastest thing I've ever seen. At the time, fastest thing I'd driven. You know, for a kid, this is great, but I would recommend it something else, especially it doesn't handle well over anything. Any sort of bump or anything spins out, doesn't do anything. The wheels, instead of sort of laying flat on the ground and just going over things, they just sort of bounce like that, and the whole car ends up rocking around, just spinning out. No way to control it. Anyway, that wraps up a car that was once great to me, now being sort of realise how low quality it is. Thanks for watching, and see you in another video. Thanks for watching.